Welcome to the VB Mapp Milestone Assessment. This will be the first assessment you complete when you're using the VB Mapp. Looking at your guidebook, you will notice that the milestone assessment will assess 170 verbal milestones across 3 developmental levels. This assessment is looking at the students' development of typical language as well as other learning milestones such as match to sample skills. This is a criteria referenced assessment and can be conducted with any individual with a language delay, regardless of the age or diagnosis. Let's dive deep into how to administer the milestone assessment. Our goal is to effectively and efficiently determine what the student can do so that we can design an appropriate instructional program. Each student will have an electronic scoring form. This can be found in a link at the end of this training. Please make a copy of this document for each student and only edit your copy. This scoring form can be used for up to 4 separate testing dates and should be color coded, a different color for each date of assessment. I will show you an example of this momentarily. Information can be gathered in a variety of ways. Review of the records and data interviews with parents, other teachers, and service providers. Observations of the students and direct testing of specific skills. For each skill, there are 5 milestones for a total of 5 possible points. Scoring for each milestone will either be a 0, a half, a point, or 1 point. How you test each skill and how you determine the points the students receive is found in the assessment guide. Let's take a look at the assessment guide. The guidebook provides you with a comprehensive, detailed description of the skill you're testing and the criteria for scoring either a 0, half a point, or 1 point. You can pre-score any known item, but be careful of items that require a timed observation. For example, in level 1, play skill 2 wants to assess whether the student show variation in a play by interacting with 5 different items during a 30-minute timed observation. To receive a full point, the student must play with 5 different items within the 30 minutes observation. This window, but if the student only plays with 3 items in 30 minutes, they receive a half a point. If the student plays with less than 3 items, they receive 0 points for this skill. Let's walk through the milestone assessment together. So this is the master scoring form. For our first assessment, we are going to look at MANs. Recall from our verbal behavior module that a MAN is a request. So make sure that you locate the correct skill to color it. First, you want to make sure that you are the correct column. We are using yellow for this test date. But next time we will use a different color. So each day, different color. Notice that the numbers go from 1 to 5 starting at the bottom. Make sure you're going in the correct order so that you are scoring the correct test item. Now we start filling in boxes. This is done using the paint option at the top of your toolbar. For a half a point, you will only fill up to the dotted line. For level 1 manned, the student needs 2 mans to receive a full point. If the student only has 1 man, they receive a half of the point. If the student has 2 mans, they receive 1 full point. The guidebook provides criteria and examples for each skill you are assessing. For more information on any skill item, check the guidebook. If you have assessed the entire skill section and the student receives 0 points, then fill in the bubble at the bottom. This indicates that you assess the skill but no points are credited. Remember that this assessment does not have to be completed in a day. You can pre-score any known items that you know the student can or cannot do. Make a note next to the items that you need to formally observe or test. And lastly, assess the scores vertically. We move on to the barriers assessment in the next module. So let's look at what we mean by assess vertically. Let's look at the Jacob. You will notice that while Jacob has no points under tacting, that's identify and labeling the objects, he has a lot of play skills. When Jacob's teacher was assessing his skills, she would have stopped at level 1 for manding and tacting. But when she got to the section on play skills, she noticed that he received all points in level 1. So she moved on to assessing even level 2 skills before moving on to the next skill set. And level 1, this is assessing vertically. Some of our students have a lots of skill in one area and we want to make sure that they get full credit before moving on. Now it's a time to look at the barriers assessment, and the next module is barriers assessment. So wait till we show you the next. Thank you.
That's a beautiful one.